today's video, I'm going to share with you 3 must-know turnaround concepts every blues player should know. Coming up. Hello, this is David. Welcome to this channel, which is all about helping you develop your musical personality on the instrument. 3 things today to keep in mind when you're playing the blues, or really anything that requires a little bit of tension. Turnarounds are all about tension, bringing the listener somewhere else to bring him back in, because then when he comes back in, it's even sweeter. Concept number 1 is follow the chords. If you really don't know what to do during a turnaround, follow the chords and you're going to be totally fine. Now, which chords do you follow? Because there are a lot of different types of turnarounds that you can hear in the blues. Keep it simple. So this is our turnaround in this particular backing track. And there's actually a lot of chords going on. Right? You hear the movement. Okay, a lot of different things happening, but in its simplest form, we have a 1, a 4, a 1, and a 5. Those are the chords that you should follow. Now, what do you do with these chords? Well, you just kind of highlight some of the notes of the chord. You don't have to play all of them, just a few are enough. For example, if you visualize these chords, we have an A7 here in that zone of the fretboard. The bar chord, you can just pick a few of these notes. Maybe I'll pick the 3rd string, 6th fret, and then the 1st string, 5th fret. These are part of my chord, right? And then we have the 4, which is the D7. Maybe I'll pick these notes that are part of my chord. On the 2nd string, 7th fret, 3rd string, 5th fret. And then on the 5, which is the E7, I could play the same thing here, frets 9 on the 2nd string and 7 on the 3rd. I'm just kind of highlighting the chords. Back to the 1 and the 5. Works great, right? And then you can add a little bit of complexity if you want to add more notes. Maybe you'll play the arpeggio. For example. All right, I hear you saying that, well, the turnaround should be a little tensed. What we played was not tensed. We followed the chords. That's true. That was the first concept. If you really don't know what to do, you should follow the chords. The second concept is to accentuate that state of mind that the listener's in where, ooh, where am I? Well, you do that with random shapes, completely random shapes that are played in a chromatic manner, so there's still movement, and with rhythm, making sure that you aim for the resolution of that. Here's a shape that I like to use a lot. It's kind of based on, the major triad here in A, but you start that from anywhere else, maybe this, or descending. I started on the 10th fret here, but I could start on the 11th. It doesn't matter. It's just a shape, right? You can reverse the shape if you want. So instead of having 7, 6, 5, I will have 5, 6, 7. Any shape is good, even something like this, as long as you remember the shape. Because we're going to take that shape and play it with rhythm, with groove, and in a chromatic way. So maybe ascending or descending, as long as you aim for the next one. And here's my turnaround. That just loops over and over, which means we never really get a resolution, but I'll try anyways. Here's the shape. For example. And finally, the third concept that you can use when you're approaching a turnaround is to use symmetrical scales. The cool thing with symmetrical scales is that they will give the listener a sense of comfort a little bit because there's a repetitive thing in the construction of that scale, yet the scale itself sounds a little off because of the way we're going to use it. Well, first of all, the nature of the scale that we're going to use is going to have some in and out notes, But also, you can take it a little further. You can just play that scale from anywhere you want, because we're not worrying about the intervals. We're just worrying about taking the listener outside of his comfort zone and bringing him back in. An example would be the whole tone scale, which is just every note is separated by a full step, a whole tone. We can have 3 notes on that first string, so 5, 7, 9, and then on the next string, you can have 2 notes on 6 and 8, and then back to 5, 7, 9, 6, 8, and then on the second string, just 2 notes, 6, 8, and first string, 5, 7, 9, all together. So we're going to try this over our loop. Remember, this is just the turnaround, no sense of resolution, kind of out of context, but to give you an idea, and I'll blend that with a minor pentatonic scale. I'll try it here. And just remember to resolve. And you know how you can make these blues turnarounds even cooler? Well, it's when you apply them to these chord turnarounds. This video will tell you all about it. It's perfect for you. Check it out. I'll meet you right there. And thanks so much for watching this video. Let's check out this one now. Love coffee.